Greetings, Vault Hunters all across the 6 galaxies. Welcome to the Bordercast. We are live once again at our usual time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm Mitsu.
And I'm Tessishka, coming to you every week to break down all things Borderlands.
Edgar Ramirez says that if you're a fan of Borderlands, you're going to love the upcoming movie.
We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. Super excited for all the things, and we're going to get caught up on what we've been up to in the Borderlands for the last little bit.
Yeah, we've been so busy covering everything else, we haven't even had a chance to talk about what we've been up to. That's pretty crazy. But as always, first, we would love to take a minute to thank our new listeners on iTunes, Spotify, etc., and those watching live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Steam, or later on the VOD on YouTube. If you are enjoying the program, we would love for you to give us a big ol' like, follow, or favorite, especially if you love the concept of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands as much as we here on the Bordercast do.
Which is a lot, just in case you were wondering. Like, a whole lot. We love it a lot. Like, please can it be here? Oh, God.
Like, a lot.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we don't really have too much new information as it pertains to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So that's really the only thing we've... Yeah, I know. So we will get to it when that develops. But... on the new news front, since we do cover news here on this news and commentary program, Loot the Universe is back.
Yeah, super cool event from last year is back. Today's changes to Borderlands 3 activate the Loot the Universe event as part of the Borderlands 3 second anniversary celebration, which is happening right now. They address some reported concerns of some weapons sometimes not dropping from their loot source. Each week during Loot the Universe, Borderlands 3's planets will take turns having even better drops, with specific types of legendary loot having increased chances of dropping in one of that planet's zones. Maurice's black market vendor has also moved as usual, and those changes should be live basically in the next 40 minutes or so. Right?
Yes. If they are not live by now, they will be live very soon for everybody. As always, just make sure that you're looking for that hotfixes applied sign when you log into the game, and that will let you know that the hotfixes, in fact, have been applied. But it wasn't just Loot the Universe that came back either, even though I do love Loot the Universe, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we're going to be celebrating 2 years. 2 whole years of mayhem. And sorry, I'm just going to reminisce for like 5 seconds here. Tess, do you remember when we first found out about all the things that were going on and we went to LA and did a thing? That feels like an actual eternity ago now.
It does feel like it's more than 2 years, because the game, so when the game launched, it was 2 years ago from now, and the reveal event was in May, the summer before, or the start of the summer before.
It was like late spring, because I think what was it, like April 20-something?
No, it was May 1st. It was May 1st. I remember because
that's right.
Yeah, I remember because it's also it's the anniversary of the very first day I ever streamed. Same day.
Aww.
Yeah, it was very fortuitous. It was cool.
Yeah, it's very poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the universe was trying to tell you something on that one.
Yeah, it was a great day.
It was a very good day. It was a very good, long weekend down in LA? That was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's talk about creating 2 years of mayhem. 2 years since launch, and Borderlands 3 is still going strong, all thanks to you, the Borderlands community. There's been plenty of Borderlands 3 mayhem made since our previous year in review check-in, including the launch of the Director's Cut add-on with its raid boss story missions, behind-the-scenes content, and vault cards, which you should definitely get if you're a big fan of raid bosses.
Yes, highly recommend.
What's that?
Highly recommend.
Oh yeah, big time. Like do thing, but get game, play things, enjoy life. The long-awaited crossplay update, which was very fortuitous, very enjoyable, but did come with a few drawbacks. But we'll talk about that in a little bit too. In-game additions like Crazy Earl's reroll machine and Maurice's black market vending machine, which we have talked about the black market vending machine quite a bit here on the show. To celebrate the second anniversary of Borderlands 3 on September 13th, 2021, we have 5 weeks of mini events lined up to show our appreciation for all of your passion and support. Starting August 12th, The fan favorite Loot the Universe series of mini events that reward you with loads of legendary loot for seeing and then shooting the planetary sites will be back. Each week during Loot the Universe, Borderlands 3's planets will take turns becoming a bastion of better drops, with specific types of legendary loot having increased chances of dropping in one of that planet's zones. And of course, you'll get to keep all of the bonus legendary loot that you find during these mini events. And just like last year, each planet's affected zones will have their own dedicated legendary weapon type: pistol, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, sniper rifle, or heavy.
Sorry, I'm just excited.
And may also have increased chances of legendary gear types, such as class mods, artifacts, shields, or grenade mods. And it'll be up to the community this time to discover which kinds of legendary drops drop where. So mark your calendars. Loot the Universe starts today, August 12th, 2021, and goes until September 9th of next month. Mayhem Made Mild will then pick up where that left off, September 9th through the 16th. And Show Me the Eridium will also show up at the same time, September 9th through the 16th. Very interesting to have both of those events run simultaneously. I don't think it was like that in previous years.
No, it wasn't. So that'll definitely be fun. I know a lot of people, myself included, really loved Mayhem Made Mild. I know a lot of us now, we didn't have Mayhem 11 back then. Now we do. So a lot of us play on Mayhem 11 as kind of like the go-to. However, Mayhem Made Mild is going to make all easy modifiers, and almost all of them, except for the Grenadier one, are super, super, super good. And even the Grenadier one is pretty decent.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I think that one is one of the, well, it depends on the character. So anyway, they're all really, really, really fun, and they make Mayhem super crazy and fun. It's great for theme builds. It's great for challenge runs. Just a good time. And having Show Me the Eridium going on at the same time is definitely a really good excuse to just jump back in and play a whole bunch. So I'm planning on it. I'm assuming you are too.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing on Mayhem 10/11, especially now that Mayhem Made Mild is going to be active at the same time as Show Me the Eridium, which, when you think about it, cannot be a coinky dinky. It's really cool because you will get Mayhem levels of Eridium out of all sources. And then on top of that, the additional Eridium from Show Me the Eridium. So I know one of the big issues that's been circulating around the community right now has been the economy based around Eridium. Everybody wanted there to be things in the game to spend Eridium on. We're very happy with the reroller. We're very happy with how Hemovorus and Vermivorus came together so that you have to drop 500 Eridium so you can go do the boss every time you want to go do it. These are great syncs. The problem now is generating on a consistent basis enough Eridium to keep cycling through those events and those options when you need to. And on one level, it's designed that way because if you want to re-roll, there should be a time investment in it. And the way I think about it in my head, and I have not had a conversation with any of the live team about this, so this is just me spitballing a theory that just came into my mind right now, but you should probably take enough time in the game to farm up Eridium as it would take for you to farm, theoretically, I don't know, X amount of times going after a certain gun or something like that. Like there has to be a reason for you to get the Eridium instead of getting the guns, right? And that time investment should be pretty similar in concept, which is why maybe it feels a little bit longer when you're farming Eridium because you're not really getting anything else, unless you get like a lucky world drop or you found a good place to farm that also includes things that you would otherwise be farming, like the Ruiner, if you're looking for something off of that, for example, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's just an idea of how I imagine design philosophy went into what they're doing with the Eridium economy. But getting back to our original point, Mayhem Made Mild plus Show Me the Eridium kind of blows all that out of the water, and you'll just be showered in the good purple stuff for quite some time.
Yeah, it's definitely all about fun, loot explosions, and riches, which is definitely the feeling. There is a special surprise coming on September 13th, the actual anniversary. But
Yes.
they don't want to spoil it just yet, so we don't know what it is. But something special is supposed to happen. So stay tuned. Be sure to check back for details closer to the big day. That's really exciting. I'm actually really curious to what they have in mind.
I don't know. They didn't tell us anything. I didn't even know this was coming until today. So like clearly they've got something really, really special in mind for everybody on the 13th, and I can't wait to find out what that is. Oh boy, are we gonna do speculation corner for like a couple seconds? Like,
sure, if you have thoughts. I don't know what it could be. I'm excited for the Loot the Universe and Show Me the Eridium and Mayhem Made Mild all together, because that's gonna be fun. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Mitsu?
Well, okay, so they say we have even more planned for the anniversary on the 13th, but then they say we don't want to spoil the surprise just yet. So this is just like the English person in me, not like oh, I am proper English, but like just breaking down sentences in the English language to try and figure out and discern meanings. They say more planned for the anniversary, even more planned, which kind of indicates to me they have things plural planned, but then they say spoil the surprise just yet, and then that like is singular. So I'm trying to figure out if it's like maybe one big thing that has little things hanging off of it, or if it's like a lot of smaller things into it. I saw you make that face. People in the podcast has just made a face, and I think she's got something to say. Go ahead, say it. I know what you're gonna say.
It's just a response to something someone put in chat that I wish was a thing, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, no, it's Wonderlands related. Anything having to do with Wonderlands, I'm like, gimme. But in the we don't have anything as far as we know coming for Wonderlands until later on at some point. I'm very excited for that, but I'm also just very excited for whatever the anniversary might bring, because it has been 2 years and it could be something really cool. So gimme, please. I am excited.
I guess the only thing I would say against it being something Wonderlands related is it's Borderlands 2nd anniversary, or Borderlands 3's 2nd anniversary. So the focus should really be on Borderlands 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems a little like, I guess, crass, but it's not really crass, but it seems a little crass that like instead you're moving on to just Wonderlands and using the anniversary as a vehicle for that. But at the same time, it's a really good way to also pass the torch along to the next game in the series. So it's like, even though it's like it's
but Wonderlands is not really in the same series, right? It's like a side thing all on its own, right? It's a whole new universe. So I don't know. Like, I fully feel like we're going to have things to do in Borderlands at the same time as Wonderlands when Wonderlands is out. Like, there's still going to be things to do in both games, and I'm going to probably be going back and forth. So actually, it'll be really nice to have like a moment in time to celebrate Borderlands 3, maybe before we get some new Wonderlands stuff. News, maybe. We'll see.
No. I think it really comes down to what the story of Wonderlands is going to be like, and if it's just going to be its own self-contained story, or there's going to be like leaking in from the real world of Borderlands into how Tina is, because that's what that was what made Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep so good, is that she brought a lot of heart to it because of all of these influences of things that happened to her in real life into her B&B session, which is what a good DM does. A good DM or BM in this case, bad matters, draws from their actual life experiences and stories that they have read, and kind of like shoves all that stuff together and then makes a really compelling story for everybody who takes part in it. It's like Star Wars. That's literally what George Lucas did. George Lucas was like, cool, I love Kurosawa films. I love Rashomon. I love all of these different influences, Metropolis, all these things. Let's just take a movie and just throw all that stuff together. That's what it's like to be a good DM. I think. I don't know. Somebody
I mean, I hope that there's a lot of influence, but I also hope there are some fun departures. Mostly, I just want like a Fantasy Maya back, like as a character. Just saying, that'd be really cool. Just putting that out there. But you know, I think I love what they did with the original Tiny Tina DLC, and I also love what they did with Krieg's DLC and how in his mind. Oh, jeez. I'm really sorry.
One
second. Oh
Yes.
God.
Okay. Tess needs a second, so I guess I'm just gonna do a solo monologue here for a second. Here, I imagine it was her cats just knocking over something. It's just to wrap up with this real quick, and then continue talking about what we're talking about. The fun doesn't stop here after your Galactic Tour, starting September 9th at 9 a.m. They're kicking off 2 more mini events in tandem, which we talked about. Mayhem Made Mild, which you'll only encounter easy mode, and Show Me the Iridium, which grants increased Iridium drops and Iridium item discounts. Now, I just read this here. Iridium item discounts. Does that also mean the reroller will get discounted? Wouldn't that be nice? Everybody who owns Borderlands 3, everyone. I'm going to emphasize that like 37 more times so you understand this is free content. Everyone who enjoys and owns Borderlands 3 will want to take advantage of this exceptional mini events before the whole shebang ends at 8:59 a.m. Pacific time on September 16th. Thank you so much for making all that mayhem in Borderlands 3 these past 2 years, Vault Hunter. It would not be the same without you. Yeah, you watching, who's going to comment in the YouTubes. That guy, you as well, because we love you too.
Yes,
Yeah,
all of you guys, and also my Mika cat, who is older and didn't quite make it on top of the computer that she was trying to get up on top of. So it's fine. Everything's fine.
it's fine. It's fine. Fine.
Yeah. She's
Totally fine. Super fine.
She's my heart in cat form. So Anyway, thank you for covering all of that, Mitsu. And yeah, we're just super excited to learn. I'm super excited to learn what the thing is going to be on the 13th. But I'm excited for the overall event. I think it'll be a blast to kind of run around with Mayhem, easy mode, and more Iridium, more better, always, right?
Yes. If only you can hold on to it long enough to enjoy it for more than 5 seconds. I think the only one who actually does Iridium right is Crazy Earl, because at the end of Borderlands 2, you find out he's literally just sporting it for funsies the whole time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like the enjoyment of Iridium is not in hoarding it; it's in using it on cool stuff, right? Because otherwise,
fair.
What's the point? It's like, well, okay, I won't get into the realities of real world money, but there's no point unless you're using it to fund cool things and experiences, right? And in this case, cool guns or cooler anointments or rolls on your guns or really, really good experience fighting a really badass raid boss, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Boy.
A few updates post Bordercast last week. We received some information about a few changes to the hotfixes players may need to be aware of. So there were a couple of things. They released a few adjustments as a result of feedback from the patch last week. They updated a couple of weapons that weren't receiving previous buffs and addressed some Vault Card 2 gear that was not behaving as intended. So they updated the DNA, the Lucian's Call, the Queen's and King's Call to receive their intended weapons adjustments. Lowered the bonus drop chance effect on the Schluter artifact, lowered the bonus on the Gold Rush to 100%, and lowered the buff duration to 10 seconds. So that was just in response to some feedback, which is really cool that they are still very, very clearly paying full attention and making sure that everybody's as happy as they possibly can be. And then there was an additional adjustment for Borderlands 3 players on PC as a result of the patch. They've temporarily removed the F3 key binding to prevent reports of crashing, because for some reason that was causing a crash. I'm sure it'll get fixed and it'll be back eventually, but for now, there's just no F3 key. I don't have F keys or number keys on my keyboard, so this is fine.
Yeah, it's just such an obscure thing to have to hit to crash a game. And that just goes to show you how fragile computer programming can be sometimes, where pushing a button that, typically speaking, how many people bind things to their F keys? I guess more people than I
A lot of people with gaming keyboards do. Well, I'll say it this way. A lot of people with longer reach than me with my short fingers will tend to bind things to F keys. Sometimes also keyboards will have the F keys like on the left-hand side as macro keys instead of on the top row.
Keys.
Yeah. And so they can be bound that way. And I mean, glitches like that, it codes and things sometimes just does things you don't expect. But it's been removed for now. So no crashing for PC people, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. The Schluter artifact, they lowered the bonus drop chance effect on that. This one surprised me a little bit, but I understand it completely. There were reports of people who were getting nothing but legendaries using the Schluter.
Ooh.
Just at like everywhere, every 5 seconds, just 100% legendaries. Legendary, like it was. I could see why people would enjoy it because you were just getting orange everywhere, but I feel like we also kind of like railed against that entire thing happening for the past 3 months because one of the biggest issues was drop rates in the game. We were like, there's too many legendaries. It doesn't feel unique. Got to tone it down. So they toned down the drop rate for legendaries. And now the Schluter artifact comes out. And now they're everywhere again. And everybody's like, but why would you nerf that? You know, it's just it's a weird balance to watch and see happen in real time.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people that just want all the legendaries all the time, and there's always going to be people that spend a lot of time in the game and want the farming to feel really purposeful and for legendaries to be more special and more rare. There's always going to be the two sides of that. I think there are more people that want them to be more rare than people that just want all legendaries all the time. So I think Gearbox has already done the best they can to cater to the majority in this case. And so this is just continuing that same kind of methodology, which makes sense. And for the people that love the epic number or epic amounts of legendaries and loot, you guys get Loot Explosion, and there's other cool things you can do to get lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of legendaries and good loot. So there's alternatives to make everybody happy, which is cool.
Of course. Options. That's what we always say here on the program. Borderlands gives you options. Vault Card Series 2 released last week. I haven't had a chance to play because I've been up here in Canada. I've been playing a little bit more Borderlands 2 related stuff with Brofish and I. Nice. But we'll talk about that a bit. But I am excited in particular for one thing. So I'm a lonely guy. Sometimes I don't get DMs that often from people. It makes me sad. Maybe it's just because I wear purple and people don't like the color purple, which I think is a lie. I got a DM from our very own Mystique Siren, and she was telling me about the Troubleshooter, which is an SMG, and I love this, that is in Vault Card Series 2 that changes element. It's like a Chimera 2.0, but better than the DNA because the DNA has the worst shooting pattern apparently in history, which is true. If you've ever used the DNA, it's kind of a pain in the buttocks to use. But an SMG, Tess, this is your moment to shine. Yeah, this is it. You finally get a Chimera.
I'm very excited for this gun. I did not know it existed until just now, pretty much. I've been playing a little bit, but I've been working on Volcard 2, but I haven't really gotten any really good loot from it yet. So I guess I'll have something to look forward to, which is really awesome.
Yeah. It seems like a really strong gun, not the strongest gun, because what will happen is if you're going to make it so that a gun kind of like changes element as it goes around, which is really cool, you have to rein it back in probably damage, because the Chimera back in Borderlands 1 was a really cool gun, but it really didn't hit as hard as you would think a gun like that would, even though it made a ridiculously loud bang sound every time you shot it.
Well, it's an SMG, so you know it's going to be good because it's the best kind of gun ever.
Oh, gee.
I mean...
Of course, Tess loves the SMGs. Who could have foreseen such a thing?
Surprise!
There you go. Mystique selling in chat right now. You would want the overclocked variant, which took her about 9 pulls to get it right. But there you go.
Thank you, Mystique Siren. Okay. Awesome. That will be what I farm for then.
So I think I'm excited to know, even when I'm not able to play at the moment, that there's still things being introduced into Borderlands that would pull people back in to try and get them to farm. And the Vault cards needed something. They needed something strong to lure people into doing it. Otherwise, why are you doing these dailies and these weeklies? So if the troubleshooter pans out and actually is a pretty strong gun, that's going to be crazy. That's the other thing. I was shocked. I thought it was going to be something else, maybe Atlas or something like that. No, it's the Hyperion SMG.
I mean,
projects the shield and everything.
Yeah, Hyperion SMGs are awesome. Oh.
Since when?
Since forever. They feel really good to use. They're super stable. They have that awesome shield in the front. There are a bunch of good ones. I mean, I've been probably more of a fan of like things
Molly?
like sorry?
Molly?
Yeah. Yeah, so like
Bad
things
feeling.
like my brain is totally not working today. The Cutsman, stuff like that. Like I love Molly guns, probably the best out of all of them. But if I can't have a Molly one SMG, like on a Deathless run or an Arms Race run or anything like that, when I get a Hyperion, I am so happy, like super, super happy. So it's a very good manufacturer for SMGs. So this is great.
I'm just surprised though. I had no idea that Hyperion was actually going to make an SMG that was worth a dang, if you will. What is it? The mag size on the overclock variant is 90.
Oh my
Tess, all you
God.
literally need to do is just hold down the trigger and like point.
Sounds
Like,
good to me.
Yeah, like that's the easiest thing in the world.
That's perfect.
Movie.
Thing.
There is a
Yeah.
movie.
There's a movie and it's coming.
Yes.
And we're very excited. So Edgar Ramirez talked to ING a little bit about the movie. He's set to play Atlas and talk to people about the movie. He said one of the things he mentioned, in the end, games, movies, it's all about storytelling. And the most iconic games, such as Borderlands, is the storytelling and the tone of the games that have made them so special. So he's played the game. He didn't know it before. Now he's in love with the tone of the game. It's so dark, so witty, and so whimsical, he said, which is very true.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a I don't give a damn attitude to the game, which is also very true. And it sounds like he's really excited about it, which is really, really cool to hear. Also, Ariana is very excited about it. She tweeted recently, as Mitsu mentioned earlier, that she has it on very good authority that Borderlands movie is going to be extremely good. And I, for one, trust Ariana Greenblatt.
How could she possibly know that? Is she in the? Oh wait, yeah, she is. She's Tiny Tina.
She's in the movie. Oh my God. I'm so excited to see her as Tiny Tina. Like, I love her, and everything that she's in, I'm sure, is amazing. And she's just an amazing actress, period. But I'm super excited to see how she brings Tiny Tina to life, because I just know she has already done an incredible job, and I just want to see it. So, give me.
Well, it's difficult, right? Because Tiny Tina is such a whimsical, flitty, kind of jumpy around, very impulsive character. But I will say this, based on the tweets that I've seen so far, Ariana definitely, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, it's very clear that she can manage to encapsulate all that is Tiny Tina, at least in her Twitter persona, when it pertains to Tiny Tina. So we'll have to see if that translates over to the silver screen whenever the movie does come out.
Imagine it not. I think she was the perfect choice for this. So I'm just excited to see the finished product. But I already know it's gonna be good.
The article from IGN goes on to say that in the games, Atlas is the name of one of the major corporations and gun manufacturers, as many of us who played Borderlands 1 and 3 know. And Ramirez appears to be playing the company's founder and is described as, quote, a business titan and arms manufacturer. He is also described as, quote, the most powerful person in the universe. Atlas has not been featured in the games as of yet. Odd wording from IGN saying as of yet. I can't really see them having this character that they've kind of created for the movie ever showing up in the games, unless he's just been in hiding for so long and he's going to try and challenge Reese for control of the company in the future, which would be an interesting story. But I don't unless they do a storyline like that, I don't really see where he could kind of fit in, because this version of Atlas, the way they're describing him, he sounds like kind of a douche. And if you're a douche and you're not in control of your namesake company, you're probably also a giant bag of ego too. and you probably want it back. So this is Borderlands. There's gonna be guns and violence and people dying and stuff blowing up. And yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a story person. I don't write things for video games, but I can't see how you bring that character in as he stands in what we've learned about him from the movie without doing it that way.
I mean, I feel like anything is possible still, because we don't really know what the story of the movie is. We don't know if it takes place before or after, or like who's in it or what happens. But I could easily see, because originally Reese was a Hyperion guy, right? And then he ends up taking over Atlas. So like we don't really know the story of how he ended up taking over Atlas. We don't know anything about it. So this could be part of that story, right?
I thought it was in Tales from the Borderlands. He discovers the deed to the Atlas Corporation in a briefcase. Yeah, it's like towards I think it's in like chapter 4 or 5. He's just like, oh, what's this? Oh, look, it's the deed to all of Atlas Corporation. I guess it's mine now. And he just gets it.
Yeah, okay, so but like the actual occurrences of how, like, we never see that happening, right? Like the actual him actually going and taking over Atlas and then becoming the big boss and like running things and et cetera, et cetera. We don't get what happens in between the end of Tales and the beginning of Borderlands 3, right? Basically is where that happens, right? Because Tales from Borderlands ends with Reese and Vaughn just like kind of being done with their little Vault Hunter adventure on Pandora. And so we don't see that happening, right? We don't see that transition. So maybe some of that takes place in the movie. I don't know. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it did, that would be kind of like an indication for what things are like in the movie universe, because the Borderlands cinematic universe is different from the Borderlands video game universe, which originally I was really kind of salty about, but I think I'm coming around on that. And the reasoning for that is, if you're going to tell a story in a movie format, you can do a thing where you can tell a story that is for a hardcore audience of a thing, but also retool it a little bit so that it's a little bit more accessible for more people. Because when you're doing a big Hollywood movie, you can't just appeal to a small subsect of people and expect to make returns on that. Liz talked about this right here on the Bordercast, right? There are people who come in and investors who say, okay, we'll throw down $1 million for this movie, but you need to have this actor or this person. So everybody needs to kind of make compromises and things. So that also goes back to the story too. You want to have a story that is accessible for everybody, but doesn't dilute the core concepts of the characters and the universe's established lore. And that's really the tricky balance that the Borderlands movie is going to have to achieve in order for it to be, at least to me, considered a success. That being said, things like what Edgar just said in this IGN interview, or actually I think IGN was reporting on an interview at Cinema Blend, the Cinema Blend interview that they did, and then of course watching Ariana go off on Instagram and Twitter about all the things that she enjoys about doing it, and just the general atmosphere that we've seen, the behind the scenes pictures where everybody's like laughing and smiling and posing and doing all these cool things together. So you get that family feel for it too. That's usually a good sign for a movie, when everybody gets along and likes each other on the project. I'm just saying. So
yeah. I mean, it sounded like from all of the sort of Twitter things that we saw and Instagram things that we saw from a lot of the people, a lot of the actors, including Ariana, of course, the chemistry between them and sort of the feeling while they were filming was really, really fun and good. And the camaraderie and the chemistry was there. So I'm just like expecting to see it on screen in their sort of characters.
yes,
because that stuff comes across, I think, especially with really good actors and actresses. It like they incorporate real life and make it work for them. So I'm just excited to see all of that. I'm just excited for this movie. I'm so happy that it's in 2022 and not sometime in the beyond. I just need it to be here now, please.
Yes. And just to wrap up, as you probably know by now, joining Ramirez is Kate Blanchett as Lilith, Kevin Hart as Roland, Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, Florian Munteanu as Krieg, Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis, and Jack Black as Clap Trap. Along with, it's already been announced that Mad Moxie, who is played by Gina Gershon, will be in the movie. I forget offhand, and I apologize profusely to them, but Scooter will be in the movie. Ellie will be in the movie. I hope they do those justice as well, because even smaller roles, you got to nail them, especially if you're setting up for a cinematic universe. Everybody's going to have a part to play, especially when 2 rolls around, if they go in the direction that I think we're already all hoping they go. Fingers crossed. So you got a star-studded cast. Production has finally ended for the Borderlands movie, and the team behind the film revealed the first look at Claptrap as part of the celebration, which we did show here on the Bordercast when that happened. The film is being directed by Eli Roth and scripted by Craig Mazin, and will be released in theaters in 2022, barring any global catastrophes again, because we keep seeming to have those.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. No more, please. We're good for like the century,
well,
at least.
The current one isn't over yet, is the problem.
I know. Pull my hair out. And yes, Larry is being played by Bobby Lee. I shouldn't forget that Bobby Lee is in the movie because he's actually really funny. So
yeah, we're just excited for this movie to be here, and I'm really glad that it's 2022 as well. So hopefully no delays, despite the current state of our world, unfortunately, and things that are going on in it. At least we have really, really good games that still bring us together, even if we can't be together in person. And Borderlands is definitely a huge highlight. I know for me, whenever I get to play it during the week, it's just like a way to de-stress or take out my stress on digital bad guys with friends. And I hope you've been getting to do that a little bit too, Mitsu, while you're there. And you said you've been playing Borderlands too with Brofish.
yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a few. Yes. Maurice's vending machine, it moved. I actually just got a DM a little while ago from our very own Mental Mars here on the show. It is in Eden 6 at the Jacobs estate.
Oh, nice.
That is where you can find Maurice's vending machine this week.
Yeah.
Although he did not tell me what's in it, so I don't know. Go there and find out for yourself, and hopefully it's something that you want
go
and
check
or
it
need.
out.
Yeah. I mean, we just gave you where, so do the right thing.
Yes.
And then to cap off all of the news today, Triple G's Endgame Rush has actually been extended to end now on August 22nd to accommodate more time for players to farm Vault Card Season 2, which was a really smart decision. We will, of course, have Triple G on in the August 26th episode of the Bordercast for him to break down and talk about the winners. I definitely have a lot of questions about what builds were kind of sticking out, what he saw were kind of the trends on how to actually do endgame. I'm very interested in what he observed over the course of this year, and we'll see what happens with that. So Tess, you're not participating, right? Or
no, I was going to, but my hand has been kind of not cooperating. And so I have been playing Borderlands, but not as much, just because I feel like that requires more of a time commitment and more of a physical commitment with my issues. A little bit of a struggle right now, so I'm trying to give my body time to like chill before we inevitably get super busy in September, because that always seems to happen. And now there's anniversary things happening, so I'm sure there'll be good stuff to do. But yeah, Vault Card 2, there's some really good stuff in there. There's apparently a really awesome SMG, so really cool that they extended, that Triple G extended the event. So you still have time. You still have 10 days, even if you haven't. Like, if I'm feeling better, maybe I might still do a little. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, 10 days remaining to get some runs in and submit them. Just find Triple G's Twitter. It's triple underscore GZ1 is Twitter for all the latest details, how to submit, all that stuff. There's also, I believe, a channel in the official Discord where you can ask questions, submit, and kind of keep everything organized. It's where things are being organized, and it's discord.gg/Borderlands for that.
Yes. So we definitely encourage all of you to make sure you take advantage of all of that. Oh boy. All right. So, with that being said, what were you up to the past couple weeks in Borderlands? What have you managed to actually get done?
I've just been checking out Valkard Season 2 a little bit, and like I
Mhm.
said, I just kind of log in for a few hours here and there lately just to play and have fun and chill and shoot some bad guys, take out my daily stress on digital baddies. And yeah, that's basically all I've been doing. I haven't really been, like I said, because my hand has been hurting, I haven't been like doing anything super hardcore. It has been really fun to actually watch people run through Endgame Rush and play, and I'm excited to see the anniversary events. I'm definitely going to be playing during those as well because it's just really fun to chill and have a lot of loot all around you all the time. And Mayhem Made Mild is definitely one of my favorite events. It was a really good time last year, so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What about you, Mitsu?
Oh boy. So while I've been up here, Brofish and I, my wife Brofish, we kind of decided that we would take a little walk down memory lane and play some Borderlands 2, because part of the reason that we even got together in the first place was Borderlands. I was hosting GCX 2018 at the time, and part of the reason I was even on the radar of the Gaming Community Expo, or formerly Guardian Con, was because King Gathalion, who founded the event, knew me from the Borderlands community. We've been friends for many years. So he's like, come host. So I hosted for several years. We met. I did an interview with her. We got married, blah, blah, blah. So Borderlands 2 was a very large part of that. She loved the game. I love the game. And because we unfortunately haven't seen each other in a year, we're trying to get all of the things done that we normally either A, don't have time for, or B, can't do in person, out of the way as much as we possibly can in these 3 weeks, which have flown by. And one of those things, of course, was Borderlands 2. We started new characters, went right from the beginning. You know, Borderlands 2 has a slower opening, but it feels more deliberate, and it also feels a little bit more enjoyable in terms of Knuckle Dragger, because Knuckle Dragger actually drops a legendary, as opposed to, what is it? It's Shiv? Is that the name of the first boss from Borderlands 3? I can't even remember.
Yes.
I think it's Shiv. Yeah. Shiv is one of the only named mobs still in Borderlands 3 that does not have anything on its loot table, as far as I am aware. It's just so, but to me, that's a little unfortunate. I understand why. I think I remember having a discussion once, and kind of the theory behind it was like they don't want a legendary to drop that early in the game, because then you would just blow through everything. He does, but on Mayhem level. But that's Mayhem, right? So you can't start a new game. It's not like in Borderlands 2, when you start a new game and you go kill Knuckle Dragger, you have a chance of getting the Hornet, like right away. And the Hornet's not an endgame gun, but
you have to have finished the game and then go fight him on. Yeah, okay. Because I was confused when you said that. I was like, wait, he does have, but only on Mayhem level, I believe.
Right.
6 or
yeah, it's either 4 or 6 or and above, but
Yeah.
it's not something that you can obtain on your first playthrough.
Yeah.
And again, I understand what the theory behind it was, but I think it's a little unfortunate, because how hard. I think sometimes in wrestling terms too, how hard would somebody like pop off when, let's say, they're on their first playthrough ever of Borderlands 3. They kill literally the first named mob in the game, and out of nowhere, boom, there's the orange. And yeah, it does kind of like temper the game a little bit and make it harder to, I guess, balance that early game content if you're thinking that somebody could get it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I would come back to playing that game over and over again, because I want to get more legendaries at that point, and that would motivate me to continue that cycle that they're looking for in Borderlands. Because, like, if that gun's that strong at that low level, what else can I get that's strong at that low level? I want all of it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you don't want the game to be too easy in the beginning for new players.
Of course.
So I definitely get that. But yeah.
But I'll point this out. I mean, there's easier mode. If you wanted to go easy, you could go easy. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but like it's there. If and that you must. What is it? Who did? we talked about this 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
We talked about, because I've never played the game on easy mode. I always figured I'd just play on normal mode and just get that Borderlands experience. They toned down a ton of different things. I think it's like enemy health and damage values and a few other things.
Yeah, I
in
think
easy mode
it's
too.
mostly just enemy, like the damage that the enemies do to you and their health and stuff. So you have an easier
Yeah.
time doing damage to them. I think I've actually never played it either, but I just know it exists because it's important for accessibility. I noticed right away that that was an option, and I thought it was a really good option that exists for people that are either new to shooters. Borderlands is a great shooter to start with, I think, because there's so many different kinds of guns. There's so many different like feels of guns, but the gunplay is at a such high quality level overall, that if you've never played a shooter before, you'll experience kind of the gamut of different kinds of weapons and different kind of feels, and you can figure out what you like, and you're still gonna have a really good time no matter what because the quality is so high. Like the tuning of gunplay is so well done. And that's coming from somebody that's obsessed with that. So
You would know.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, Borderlands 3 just has some of the best, I think, like most finely tuned gunplay out there currently. And so even if you play on easy, you're still going to get that. It literally doesn't it doesn't change the guns or the gunplay or anything like that. You just are going to have a harder time dying, and will have more time to spend enjoying using them, right? And learning how to shoot and stuff like that. I remember when I first started playing shooters, it was really Borderlands 2 that I started with, and I was so happy just to like be able to shoot straight and like hit things and occasionally kill them. I was so excited every time I killed something. It was hilarious. I was a baby first person shooter player back then, and it was nice. So with Borderlands 3, you have a very good experience, I think, as a new player of shooters. If you're new, and as well, maybe not a veteran, but definitely somebody that's played a lot when I speak about myself. But even veterans out there that have played a million shooters, I'm sure will have a wonderful time playing. But if you are newer, you can always start on easy mode. And if you have accessibility issues, like honestly, I've thought about this a few times where I haven't done it. And I don't know if I need to do it at this point because I have a lot of really high level stuff and I have good builds and stuff from friends on the team and just friends out there. And so I don't really struggle anywhere in Borderlands 3. But if I ever felt like I did struggle because of my hand, I could always bump it down to easy mode if I wanted to and just have fun and chill. So it's really nice kind of knowing that that option is there.
Yeah. Even if you're not necessarily you personally anyway, are not necessarily going to exercise it. Yeah. We are pressed for time because, of course, we are. And I know that I have some things I need to get done today as well. So this seems like a good point to jump off. I will not be on the show next week once again, as apparently the most efficient and least expensive time to fly is on Thursdays. So unfortunately, of course, that conflicts with the Bordercast. But Tess will be here. Do not fret. And we'll see who we can rustle up to come hang out with Tess again in my stead. But I will miss being here, of course, because I love doing this show. Yeah, I'll be back the following week, and we'll have Triple G on that week to talk about Endgame Rush 2.0's finale. So that'll be really good as well.
You guys.
Tess, where can they find you, bud?
Oh, well, right here on the Borderlands channel. I stream sometimes Borderlands, surprise, surprise, and also, of course, the Bordercast. And then on my channel, I usually am around on Saturdays. Last week I wasn't able to stream, but this week there will definitely be a stream on my channel at Tessachka, Tessa CHKA. I stream sometimes Borderlands, of course, and then some other games and sometimes keyboard builds and stuff like that. And I'll also right now I'm doing 3 roleplay shows. So on Mondays on The Wandering Inn, I do a vampire tabletop show that is sort of finishing up, kind of. There might be like a massive craziness thing that happens in the near future. We'll see. And on Wednesdays, I'm currently doing a show on Kobold Press, where I play a death cleric turtle who's very agreeable and sweet. It's a good crazy combo of things. And then on Fridays, I'm on Table Story doing Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is a really cool show. Some crazy epic stuff has happened recently on that show. The whole show is just amazing. Everybody else that's on it is really, really, really cool on all the shows. So definitely check those out. They're fun. What about you,
Cool.
Mitsu?
Twitter.com/Mitsu Show, MITSUSHOW. If you want to follow my adventures in trying to discover the Maple Sea. I feel like this warrants context, so I'm going to explain it very quickly.
Yes,
literally, I am convinced that there is a place in Canada called the Maple Sea where all of the maple syrup in the entire world comes from. And we have it in bottled form, which is cool. But haven't you ever had water fresh from the tap? Or haven't you ever had steak fresh from the farm, like something sent directly to your house? I want maple syrup fresh from the Maple Sea. But apparently, it's a secret to all the Canadians, and they won't tell anybody else about where the Maple Sea is. So it is my job as an entrepreneurial American to find where the Maple Sea is and taste this delicious fresh maple syrup fresh from the sea. So,
okay. Interesting.
So if you're looking to see my adventures in doing something absolutely ridiculous and completely incorrect, yes, twitter.com/Mitsu Show, MITSUSHOW. And I promise when I get back to America, it'll just be about Borderlands and video games again, mostly.
A Demon Donut in the Twitch chat pointed out, very important note, that this Sunday is the last day to pre-order Bunkers and Badasses. So I was just talking about all of the D&D and tabletop RPG shows that I do on Twitch. Bunkers and Badasses is based on the original Tiny Tina's DLC that came out for Borderlands 2, where Tiny Tina was the DM, the dungeon master of a Bunkers and Badasses, like D&D tabletop RPG style game in the Borderlands universe. It's also what was the initial kind of concept that led to Wonderlands, which is really, really cool and exciting. And also, the wonderful Nerdvana Games has come out with an actual Borderlands themed tabletop role-playing game called Bunkers and Badasses. It's real, it exists. So if you like tabletop, if you like that stuff, I love it. It's so cool. It's coming out and you can still pre-order it until this Sunday. So if you are still interested, you should definitely check that out.
Yes. Yes, you should.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We super, super appreciate it. If you enjoy watching the show and listening to the show as much as we love doing it, please make sure to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and like if you can. We appreciate it so much. And set up notifications on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, YouTube Music, and Stitcher. And join us live on Twitch at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific every Thursday, right here on the official Borderlands channel, twitch.tv/Borderlands. Thank you so much to everybody watching on Facebook and Steam and YouTube. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we will see you. Mitsu won't be here, but he'll be here in spirit.
Yes, yeah. I might even be in chat if I get like Wi-Fi on the plane, or I'm down in the airport for an hour or something like that too.
Yeah, he'll be hanging out. So, well, we'll have some surprise guests or something. Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'll be in the air, so clearly I have to get Wi-Fi on the flight if it's not too expensive.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. On behalf of Tess, myself, and the entire content creation team, thank you so much for joining us as you every single week. Now go forth and make some mayhem.